What is going on, everyone, and welcome back to my channel for another Hot Toys unboxing and review video. Today we're going to be taking a look at another Star Wars figure. We are doing Grand Admiral Thrawn from the series Ashoka. This character, if I'm not mistaken, it is the second figure that has been released for the collection so far. The first one was Bale and Skull, but this is the first one that I do get so far. I have pretty much pre-ordered every single figure from the series, and I cannot wait to complete the whole collection. It is going to be an absolute blast. Now, I did get this guy off of Sideshow Collectibles, and as always, I will include the link to Sideshow so that way you guys can go ahead and secure yourselves a Grand Admiral Thrawn. With this guy, if I'm not mistaken, this is the second time we get an appearance from him. The first time being in Rebels, but that was an animated series. This is technically his first live action appearance, and I was very, very happy to see him. I thought he was fantastic in the series, even though he only got a couple of scenes. But still in all, very excited to see how this guy looks. I've seen some really cool images of him, so can't wait to see him in person. Let's go ahead and get started with the review. Get into the design of the box. So nothing changes, pretty much the same old background for any Star Wars figure. So we get pretty much the black background. We get an image of the figure himself right there in the center of the image. We get a Star Wars logo in this metallic type of shading that looks pretty cool. And then this is something that's become pretty much a regular with new Hot Toys figures. We get a Star Wars banner that surrounds the whole box. This time the coloring it's blue, but it is a different shade than your typical blue. It does also come with an image of Thrawn himself. On the right side, that banner continues. We do get a Star Wars logo underneath that banner and the black background as always. I do wonder if this coloring for the banner is going to be the same for every single figure. For example, for the Kenobi series, even though Obi-Wan is a Jedi, his banner was also red color, so I'm wondering if they're going to do the same thing here with the whole Ahsoka series line. On the back, pretty much just the name of the figure, warning illegal information, the black background, nothing too much to see here. It's pretty much same old. And then on the left side, something that's also become a normal thing for Hot Toys is to include a cut up image of the figure himself on the left side. Right here, it looks pretty cool. And then we get that hologram, not display base, but accessory that we'll take a look more into later on as we go over the figure. So I would say not a bad start with the box itself. Again, we already expect this. I'm glad that they include the banner. I feel like it adds a lot of detailing. And then speaking of detailing, so I always like to say whenever we get a second box for Star Wars figures or a wallpaper piece on top of the figure, I always like to say that this would be the actual cover of the box if Hot Toys had actual full control. But unfortunately, because of Lucasfilm's kind of, I guess, mandates or things like that, they're limited to their creativity that they can do. But right here, we just get a cut up wallpaper with Thrawn himself, and behind him we get his troopers. I believe that's the Shadow Troop, not the Shadow Trooper, but the Death Trooper, and then Captain Enoch, if I'm not mistaken, that's his name. So really like the imagery, and I cannot wait to put all of those guys together as all of those figures have been released. So now we get to take a look here at the figure. Pretty easy access that I had to him. I didn't have to remove a lot of things to get access to the figure. First thought so far so good. I like what I see so far. The head sculpt looks good. The outfit looks pretty nice as well. Can't find anything right away that I dislike about him. I'm sure we'll find something that I won't like. I'm pretty sure it has flaws, but for the most part, it looks pretty good. I like how white the outfit looks, and the head sculpt looks absolutely amazing as well. So now that we've gotten the figure out of the way, we'll take a look at accessories. We'll take a further look at Thrawn himself in detail, and of course, at the end, we'll do poses and final thoughts. Okay, guys, we get to the accessories. So sadly, we don't have a lot of things to look at, but that's why we get that big hologram display thingy to pretty much cover up the lack of the accessories. So we start off with the display base. No surprises here. We get the regular flooring rectangular shaped display base. This time it is a little bit of a darker gray coloring to it. We do get his nameplate right there, as you guys are able to see, the same nameplate that we get for every single figure for Star Wars. And then we do get a crotch grabber stick that goes attached onto the display base. So pretty much the same for every single Star Wars figure, and I don't think I'll really use it when I do post a figure, once we're done with the video and I do go ahead and put him in my collection. But just kind of know that that is something that comes with the figure. And then this is supposed to be the biggest accessory of the whole figure. So we get the hologram Star Destroyer piece that goes attached on that stick, as you guys are able to see. At that bottom part is like a circular thing. It's supposed to be kind of this I would say technological kind of map to show different stars, spaceships and things like that. Now, as you guys are able to see right there, that white part is supposed to be covering this sticky part, which is supposed to be glued on that circular thing. I'm sorry, I really don't know how to describe these part of the accessories. By the way, I have it on backwards. I apologize about that, but just know that it is supposed to be glued together, and then that little plastic thing, it will be what will hold up the whole display base. So I will put these things together once I do get to the posing part, and I'll make sure to pose it with Thrawn himself. It looks pretty cool, but my complaint about it is that there is no light up effect on it, no batteries, no USB cable whatsoever. So what we see is what we get, unfortunately. And then we do get some small accessories that come with the figure. So we get his pistol. That is an optional thing that you guys can have either on his belt or on his hand. There's nothing really too special about it. It just comes with its typical it's typical plastic. And then also we get this I would call it like a tablet, but more so like a device that he uses. I do remember there was a scene where he uses this device. I really didn't get to take a look at the device itself, but I like the fact that it comes with it. It's got this kind of dirty application. Seems like it's old and used. I'm glad that it comes with it, so no issues with it whatsoever. And then these four, I would say kind of cylinders, if I can call it that way. They're supposed to go on his outfit, on his shoulder area, 2 for each side. I'm not sure if I'll really use them, but just know that it does come with that as well. And then last but not least, we get a couple of hand pieces. So what I really like about these pieces is the texture. They look real. The paint applications are nicely done, and again, I just love the texture so much. The hands are very, very real. Again, these are not gloves. This is actual skin. That sense that's obviously Thrawn's regular skin color, and again, the skin lines, the texture to them is very nicely done. The hands pretty much show different poses. With this guy, it's really, really weird to know what each hand is supposed to represent, because I'm not really used to seeing him with poses. So those are things that we're gonna have to figure out as we go along with the video. And then we get 4 more hand pieces. As I mentioned before, the skin texture is great. I can tell right away that hand on the very right is gonna be for him to hold on to his pistol. The one, the third one is gonna be for him to hold on to the tablet device, and then the other 2, well, we'll have to figure that out, right? I think that there's different poses that we can use, but the accessories, sadly, we don't get a lot of things, but I think it's good enough to a point where we can pose the figure in different ways where we won't need the accessories. Okay, so we get to Thrawn himself now, where we get to look at the guy in full detail. So whenever I saw the images of him from either the prototype, pre-order, and also when he was announced to be released, and now seeing him in person, I can honestly say this with very confidently, this is one of the best head sculpts I've ever seen Hot Toys make. No question about it. He looks exactly like Thrawn in the series. The skin texture is nicely done. My only complaint is that we do get a seam line in between the neck, even though the outfit covers it up a little bit, so it's not that noticeable. So it's not visible from every single angle. Like if we can see right there, you guys can't really see the seam line itself, but I really like the facial expression. It looks exactly like the actor. The name of the actor is Lars Mikkelsen, I think, if I'm not mistaken, that plays Thrawn in the series. His red eyes, they look absolutely amazing. I love the facial expression. One of the best head sculpts I've ever seen from them make. And then the outfit itself, so it's a good outfit, but I do have issues. So one of my issues is the texture of the suits from his jacket onto his pants. So he has this general suit itself. It has some rank badges on his shoulder and on his chest area. The belt itself, it's made out of pleather. I really don't have any issues with pleather when it comes to the belt. I don't think it's going to get damaged in any way. There's the hole where the pistol goes to, but pretty much the suit itself, the outfit is made out of fabric. The jacket, it's kind of this heavy fabric material. As you guys can see, it's white colored and I really like it a lot. I have no issues with the jacket, but my issue is with the pants. The pants itself, you guys can see the fabric is much thinner, so it doesn't really match up well with the jacket. Now, I really can't speak honestly if this is, if this matches in the series, but I just know that it looks really weird. And then the boots themselves, and I knew they were gonna do this. I'm not even shocked about this. They're pleather, and I know that over time they're gonna get damaged. But again, these people, I just know them so well that I'm not even disappointed because I already knew this was coming. And the fit in between the pants with the boots, it's just a weird fit. It's like he has leggings on and the pants barely fit in between the legs, so it's very hard to adjust them. As you guys can see, it's just a weird fit. The pants look really weird. It's like they're all over the place. The boots themselves, they're really tight, so I'm not sure if that's actually gonna help us or hurt us when it comes to durability. I have some figures with leather boots, especially Star Wars characters, that still stand up well, but I don't know how they'll end up lasting, for a couple of more years or months. All that I can recommend with these figures is just stand the figure as still as possible whenever you put them in the collection, because they're not going to be very durable when it comes to, the boots and things like that. Pleather is just not a very durable material, so very unfortunate. The head sculpt does have rotating eyes, and I did want to go ahead and take a look at that so that way you guys can see how it looks. Okay, so even though it's not that noticeable because again the eyes are all red, this head sculpt, as I mentioned before, is the best thing about the whole figure. It's just a perfect head sculpt to me. The hairpiece is great. As I mentioned before, my only complaint is that we get a seam line in between the neck. They could have done a full seamless head sculpt. That's something that they really do with a lot of Hot Toys figures, so I don't see why they couldn't do the same thing here, but fortunately this is what we get. Again, it's not a big issue of mine. I think it's fine, but I just think that that's something that could have made it even better. But still in all, it is a great head sculpt in my opinion. I did want to go ahead and touch over the articulation. So even though it is a pleather material and there is no seam line, since the material is so fragile, as you guys are able to see, I am able to move the feet either up or to the sides or to the bottom. So again, it helps, but I really don't want to move the boots that much because the material is so fragile that it will get damaged. But just know that it does move a little bit. You guys can try to move it a little bit longer. I'm sorry, a little bit more, but I don't want to ruin it in any way. And then on its knees, it does bend pretty nicely. I don't have any issues with that. To the sides, the legs do stretch a little bit, but not a lot because of the material of the pants. The fabric does pretty much stand in between, so it doesn't allow me to stretch out the legs that much. And then the knee does bend up to the front a little bit more than I expected, so that's pretty good. And then in his mid area, his waist, so he does move to the side all the way till there, so that's pretty good. And then if we move it to the other side, pretty much same thing. So it does move pretty nicely from the waist. No issues with that whatsoever. The whole body itself is made out of plastic, so that helps when it comes to moving the figure. And then he does go up to the front a lot, and then to the back even more. My God, look at the back. He moves very nicely. And then in the arms, the arms do stretch out to the sides, like all the way till there. They go all the way to the back until there, probably a little bit more, but I don't want to break the arm, so that's pretty much all that I'm going to stretch it out. And then to the front all the way till there. From the elbows, it does bend pretty nicely as well, so no issues with that at all. And then the head sculpt, even though it has a seam line, it does move very nicely. So moves to the sides until there, moves to the front until there, and to the back all the way till there. Since it is installed in a ball joint, you guys can pretty much turn around the whole head itself. So I think the articulations are fine. My only issue would be with the boots, because you guys have to be careful stretching out in the boots area, since the material is very fragile, being pleather, so you guys might tear it apart, so just be careful with that. But as far as the legs, arms, and the head sculpt, I think it moves very nicely. No issues with the articulations. We have a pretty good figure so far. Okay, for the side-by-side comparisons part of the video, I only have one comparison, and I think it's the most fair one that I could have thought of up to date. Right, again, this guy is the first figure that I get from the Ahsoka series, so I don't have anybody to comparing from that series. And again, I just didn't want to put any random Star Wars character next to him. I have to put people that make sense, and in this case I went ahead and put the Grand Inquisitor, who obviously is from the Kenobi series, but obviously he was with Thrawn in the Rebels series. Now it's been years since I've seen Rebels, so I can't remember the whole scenes in full detail, but I just know that they were together for a while. And I gotta tell you guys, I really want to do a collection of the whole Empire with these people, and of course Vader and all the Inquisitors and generals. It would be a very nice collection. Again, I'm still barely getting started with it, but just seeing these two guys together, and then being able to put Vader and then all the other Inquisitors and Palpatine and the generals and all the troopers, it would be such a nice collection. But between these two guys, obviously they all follow Vader's commands, and both have different suits in their own way, but I would pretty much say that their intent is the same, and they're both very nice characters. I think that Thrawn was portrayed better, and his suit and his whole design of the character was a little bit better. I was never the biggest fan of the head of the Inquisitor, but still in all, happy to have both of these guys in the collection. Unfortunately, both of these guys have pleather boots, so both of them are in danger of being damaged over time. For now, I'm gonna have them stand still as much as I possibly can to avoid any issues, but this would probably be the only comparison that makes sense to me. Let me know if you guys agree with that, or if there's anybody else that you guys wish me that I would have compared Thrawn to for this part of the video. And so we pretty much have reached the end of the video. I do want to apologize. I felt like the video felt a little bit shorter than usual. But again, we didn't get a lot of accessories, and there wasn't really a lot of things to look at with this guy. This is one of those figures that it really doesn't matter to me that there wasn't that many accessories. I just wanted to have the guy. It always feels nice whenever you get to pick up unique characters from different series to pretty much make the whole Star Wars collection bigger, or maybe the other franchises as well. And Thrawn himself, I don't know if we'll ever get to see him again, but knowing that I'll get to have him along with other characters from that Ahsoka series is going to be such a nice thrill. So to me, Lars Mikkelsen did a fantastic job of playing Mr. Thrawn himself in the Ahsoka series. I thought that he was very cool and calm, but at the same time, he had this leadership about him and this command that you can see why he's a general. So I thought that he did a fantastic job. And then I think Hot Toys with the figure itself, even though it's not a perfect figure, the pants, the pleather kind of damage it in some ways, but I think that his jacket, his skin texture, the face sculpt, and just the whole stand of him is good. You guys don't know this, but this guy is really tall. Maybe I wish I would have done a side-by-side between him and Vader, because to me this is my second tallest Star Wars figure, and the only guy above him is Vader, and that would be pretty much all the three Vaders that I have. But any other Star Wars figure, Thrawn is taller than him. That's pretty much just the whole truth. So overall, nice figure. Happy to have him in the collection. Please let me know in the comments what you guys think about this guy, and if you guys are going to go ahead and pick him up. And if you guys will, as always, we'll include the link to Sideshow Collectibles, so that way you guys can purchase the guy if you want to. I do want to thank you guys as always for supporting the channel, and want to remind you to like, comment, subscribe, and also join the membership that I have going on. As I always like to mention, $2.99 to join the Jedi Masters, with some perks that come with it that I promise I will complete. And I am thinking about adding more perks, so that way the membership makes sense and it's worth it. But again, just want to thank you guys for supporting, and make sure to like, subscribe, and comment for more Hot Toys content and unboxing and review figures. I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in to this unboxing for Grand Admiral Thrawn from the Ahsoka series. Thank you again for supporting, and I will see you next time.